The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 55, Why Weight Loss is Not Supposed to be Hard. And welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond the food to the real issue, your mindset. Yes, your mindset is the real issue if you want to make weight loss be fun, if you want to make it be easy, if you want to make it be enjoyable, and if you want to make a healthy lifestyle be a part of your life. Because let's get real here. Fast fat loss diets don't work. Well, they might work to get you a different number on the bathroom scale, but what happens when you lose that weight? How quickly do you gain it back? Why is it that the fast fat loss diets you've done have taken you 20 years? Because you lose weight and then you gain it back and you gain more and then you lose more weight, you do another diet, you gain more weight back, you do more binge eating, obsessing about food, you feel like a food addict, you can't stop eating, then you do another diet and then you lose some more weight but then you gain it back because you can't keep it off. When is it going to be time for you to end all of that struggle? Do you really want to end the struggle? If you want to end the struggle, then you have to go to the root of this issue. There's no way around it. Once you heal the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles, then it's not going to be a big old drama any longer. You will be able to easily live healthy and fit without a fight. And this is exactly the work that I do in my professional coaching practice with my coaching clients. And that is the work that I do in the Inner Self Diet, which is my proprietary, proven, step-by-step mentoring system to permanent weight loss. It's the whole solution, the full solution. And it leaves all of your ongoing food and weight struggles in the dust. Of course, you do have to be open to allowing yourself to release all of that struggle. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about why weight loss is not supposed to be hard. And if you already know that you would love to release all of your food and weight struggles, and you're serious about doing so, you would love to stop asking yourself, why am I so smart and successful, but I can't just lose weight and keep it off? What the heck is going on? Then, if that is you, you would start by filling out an application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. And you can do that now at fearlessfatloss.com. Okay, so today's topic, why weight loss is not supposed to be hard. Yes, it's true. It's not supposed to be hard. But here's what makes weight loss so very, very hard and difficult for you to do it. And in fact, this is a very perfect time, a very appropriate time to be talking about this topic today because it's January 16th. Millions of people made New Year's resolutions to lose weight on the 1st, and most of those people have already quit. Maybe you're one of them. I have a friend who has been a member of a local gym in a small neighborhood for over 7 years, and he goes every day or 5 days a week to work out, and the same people are always there. They live in the little neighborhood that he lives in. And he said that every year in January, the beginning of January, there's a huge influx of new people who join because they make these resolutions to lose weight. And he says every year, by the second week in January, they're all gone. Maybe one of them hangs on, but if 20 people join, one person is left. And he said it's the same thing every year. Now, if during the year a new person buys a home in this man's neighborhood and moves in and they have a healthy lifestyle, they join the gym, they come every day or 7 days a week, it's not a big deal because that's part of their lifestyle. That's completely different than the people who join on January 1st, because when you make a New Year's resolution to lose weight, what you're doing is you're trying to force yourself with 10% of the solution to change what is 90% of your problem. 90% of your problem is your inner self, it's your mindset, it's your thoughts, it's your emotions that are driven by your thoughts. You actually have images, pictures, movies that you're running in your brain constantly that you're not even aware of. Believe it or not, the self-image actually is an image. And when you're FAT on the inside, you have to be fat on the outside because the inner and the outer always match. That is a universal law. It's not my law. It's a universal law. So, what makes weight loss so hard is you are trying to force yourself to become something on the outside that you never have been on the inside. Well, actually, that's not true. You have been fit and healthy on the outside. You were absolutely perfectly fine when you were born. You knew when to eat. You knew how much to eat. You knew when you were no longer hungry. You knew when you were hungry. You were just fine. And if you could have stayed on that same track that you were on when you were a baby, you would not have ever had any problems with your weight. I know someone who is in her 70s now, and she knows exactly why she has struggled with her weight her entire life. When she was a teenager, she was 16 years old. She didn't have a weight problem. And her best friend had this idea to do what was called a miracle diet. They thought that people would like them even more, that the boys would like them even more, and that their friends would like them even more, and that they'd be more popular if they would just lose some weight. And so they decided to do this diet. They didn't have a weight problem. Neither of them did. And that is where this woman, who is now in her 70s, she knows that that's exactly where all of her problems started. She was not overweight, she didn't need to diet, and what happened was that she can clearly see that what happened was that she then felt deprived of her favorite foods. And where before she wouldn't overeat on her favorite foods, now after being on this miracle diet when she was not supposed to have anything that she used to eat before, all she could do was think about those favorite foods and obsess about them, and then she just began overeating them compulsively, out of control. And then ever since then, she has been on one diet after another, counting calories. She's done Weight Watchers several times. Never gotten to the root, though, and healed what occurred back when she was a teenager. Now, really, the diet that she did was not the problem. The problem that has never been healed is why she did that in the first place, when she didn't even need to. There was no problem. That is the root of her challenges. But this is also a person who does not want to heal the root of her ongoing food and weight struggles. So, of course, in order to make weight loss easy for yourself, you have to be willing to go to the root of your problem, which is not about the food, it's not about the diet, it's not about the exercise, it's not about any of these things that you do to yourself that you think are the problem. It's not about the overeating. It's about how you ever became off track in the first place, and that is all on the inside of you. You need to have a core transformation in order to release those struggles so that you can just quote-unquote be normal with food, so that you can eat only when you're hungry and stop when you're full. Believe it or not, it does not take that much food to ease the physical hunger. And In order to lose weight and keep it off, it needs to be a lifestyle. Diets don't work because they are too restrictive, just like the story that I just told you about. But again, notice that the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles, it's not about the things on the outside. It's on the inside of you. It's very challenging to try to do that on your own. I attempted to do that for over 20 years and I didn't get to it because it's so easy for you to deny and try to paste a smiley face sticker on your challenges and tell yourself that you should be able to just do it all on your own. But how would that be any different than if your car broke down? Let's say that the transmission went out on your vehicle. Would you sit there and tell yourself that, oh, well, I should be able to figure it out on my own and I'll just let my car sit in my driveway and I'm going to figure out how to fix the transmission all on my own. It'll save me money. Obviously, it's not going to save me any time, and I'm going to be spending time on how to fix my transmission that I'm not skilled in how to do. I have no idea how to do it, but I'm going to spend all my time. I'm going to take the time away from my loved ones and from my outings and my social events, and I am going to take time away even from my work to fix my car transmission. Would you ever do that? Even me talking about it, it sounds absolutely loony, doesn't it? But how is that any different than you trying to fix your ongoing food and weight struggles on your own? How is it any different? Doesn't it make sense that the diets are not fixing your compulsive overeating, your binge eating, your food obsessions, your inability to stop overeating, stuffing yourself, all of the what I call a muckmire. So weight loss is not hard, and it's not supposed to be hard once the inner part, the inner self, has all been healed. Then the easiest thing for you to do is to lose weight, because what makes weight loss hard right now for you is that inner turmoil, because you say that you want to lose weight, but then there's more of you that doesn't want to. That 90% of you on the inside, obviously, if it was on board with the 10%, which is the diet and exercise, if that was all one big team and you were all in alignment together, then what would be the problem? You'd be excited about eating healthy. You'd probably be talking to everyone else about how wonderful it is. And you'd be out there working out and living a healthy lifestyle. And it wouldn't be any big deal because you wouldn't have any desire within you to overeat and abuse food and abuse yourself. Then weight loss would be very easy. In fact, it wouldn't be weight loss anymore because you would drop the excess fat and you would keep it off. It would not be a big deal. It's time for a commercial break. Today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin. You can go to 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin to take an immediate action step towards making weight loss easier for yourself. You can do that now at 31daysoflovingyourselfthin.com. Or, if that's kind of long, just go to loveyouthin.com. Questions to ask yourself. On each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I give you questions that you can ask yourself. I highly recommend that you write these down on paper with a pen so that you can benefit from the connection that occurs between your head, your hand, and your heart. If you only listen to me, you'll get something out of this podcast, but it won't be anything near what you can get if you write these questions down and then write down the answers for yourself. The first question to ask yourself: exactly how many diets have I done throughout my lifetime? Exactly how many diets have I done throughout my lifetime? And you can also, of course, pause this podcast if you need more time to write down your responses. Question number 2. Have any of those diets been easy for me? Have any of those diets been easy for me? Question number 3. What exactly would my life be like if I had no struggle living a healthy lifestyle? What exactly would my life be like if I had no struggle living a healthy lifestyle? And that means that you would actually enjoy eating healthy, you would enjoy physical activity, you would be living like this all year round. It wouldn't just be a little diet. You wouldn't have to force yourself because it would be who you are. What exactly would your life be like? And what I recommend you do with that third question is look at all of the 4 major life areas and detail out how each one of them would change for the better. How would each one transform and grow? Your 4 major life areas are the area of your fitness, that obviously that's about your body, faith, that's your spiritual connection, finances, your work, your business, your money. All of this is connected. And family is the 4th one. Those are your relationships with not only family, but friends, co-workers, employees, bosses, neighbors. The family category covers all relationships. Pets, obviously the relationship with yourself, which is the primary relationship. How would each of these major life areas transform and grow in a positive way if I no longer had a struggle with this, if I could just live healthy and fit without a fight? Okay, shout outs. How can you get a shout out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show? Go to JoLynnBraleyShow.com and click like to like our Facebook page, and I will give you a shout out on an upcoming episode. I only use first names, and it's a nice way to just say thanks for listening and enjoying the show. Something interesting to notice about this also, if you feel any shame or embarrassment about liking our Facebook page at theJoLynnBraleyShow.com, that is a major roadblock to your success, not only with your body, but also in your life. And I did a previous podcast about shame. Maybe you would want to listen to that. It's a really big issue, especially I've noticed with this area of food and weight. For myself, I don't have any problem talking about the fact that I've been where you are right now and that I used to eat out of control and all of that. To me, there's nothing that one of my clients could tell me that would shock me. But for many people, and maybe this is you, you'll find, or I've found, that they are very embarrassed and feel great shame about having anybody know that they've got a problem. But what's interesting about this is that everyone already knows you have a problem. It's on your body. Now, unless you're at the other end of the spectrum where you don't show it on your body, but you have all of the dis-ease on the inside in your mindset, and you're still obsessed about weight, you're still obsessed about the scale, you're still obsessed about food, all of that. I have had a couple clients like that also who were at the most 10 pounds overweight at the very most when we started working together, but they were in just as much distress as someone who would be 100 pounds or more overweight, because this is a mindset problem. It's just something to notice about yourself if you have so much shame about this topic that you don't want others to know. That will really hold you back in and moving forward, because shame it's actually lower than depression. I invite you to look at that for yourself. And of course, the quickest and easiest way to get to the place where you want to go, to move out of those really bad feeling emotions and get to the place where you feel proud of yourself, where you feel excited to let others see you, where you feel joy about being you. The quickest and easiest way to do that is to work with a highly skilled mentor and coach and just do the steps that are already proven to work. That is the work that I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. You can find out more about that at fearlessfatloss.com. There are a couple pages on there of testimonials also from graduates of the Inner Self Diet. There are written testimonials. There are also audio testimonials. And these are people that I've got several clients. Holly is one of them. Nancy is another. Years of therapy never solved their issues with the food and the weight. The Inner Self Diet did, though. And, of course, it's because they took action with it. It's not magic. You have to actually do something different to get different results. All right, so let's recap what you learned today and wrap up today's show. On today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, you learned why weight loss is not supposed to be so hard. You learned that actually it's you that makes it hard. Specifically, it's your mindset. Your mindset is 90% of the game of achieving permanent, struggle-free weight loss. When you have an FAT mindset, you learn that when you're FAT on the inside, you have to be fat on the outside. The inner and the outer always match. There's no way around that. You also learn that that is a universal law. It's not my law. It's not something that I made up, and it's not something that you can make up. It's not something that anyone can make up. It's how it is. Universal laws are bigger than all of us. You either can learn how to work with them, or you can continue to fight against them and struggle. You also learned today that diets obviously are not the way to go. You need to live a healthy lifestyle in order to release the excess fat and keep it off. And you also learn that what makes that very easy to do is when you no longer have that fight on the inside. You no longer have that struggle on the inside where all parts of you, your whole entire self, the 90% on the inside and then the 10% that you're taking action with on the outside, that's all together. It's all on the same team, and you're all systems go, and then there is no more fight. You can drop the fat, keep it off without a fight because you're no longer fighting yourself. And the way that you get that result is by healing the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles. One other thing you learned today is that the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles, it's not about the diet. It's not about the food. It's not about your exercise plan. It's not even about your overweight. It's something much deeper than that. And the good news is that once that is healed, then you're not going to have a problem with this food and weight topic. You're going to live healthy and fit because you want to and because it's fun to do. Okay, so be sure and head on over to thejolynnbraleyshow.com. Click like to like our Facebook page. You'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show. If you're subscribed in iTunes, go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating. If you're not subscribed in iTunes, it's very easy to sign up for an account and it's free. When you give us a 5-star rating, which I do fully believe that this is a 5-star show, we're here to help you know the truth of the matter. We're not sugarcoating anything for you here. And when you give us a 5-star review, go ahead and share your biggest aha that you've gotten from the JoLynn Braley Show. Tell us how your awareness has shifted away from that diet mentality, thinking that a food diet would solve all your food and weight struggles, how it shifted to the truth that your struggles are 90% mindset, and how what's most exciting is that once your mindset is shifted to a weight loss mindset, that then you're not going to have any more problem in this area. So we'd love to read about your biggest ahas. Next week's episode is Get Real episode number 13. Yes, it's the first Get Real episode of this year, and it's Get Real episode number 13 since the JoLynn Braley Show started 1 year ago. And the topic is the real truth about why you can't lose weight. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and you have been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. you can go to fearlessfatloss.com. That's fearlessfatloss.com. You can grab my free 5-day e-course while you're there. It'll help you discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good and what you can do about it. That's also where you can apply for a complimentary weight loss discovery session if you are serious about leaving all of your food and weight struggles behind you. That also means that you won't have any more excuses for living healthy and fit, because it will be so easy for you to do. And the way that you would apply for that is to go to fearlessfatloss.com/call. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.